Good evening. This is Attorney Vince Davis. I'm here with my co-host, Cynthia Becker, and the name of this show is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. You can listen live at KABC 790 AM or KABC.com. You can also catch these streams live on Facebook. Go to The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. And also Cynthia's webpage or Facebook page, the reality series, CPS, The Horror Stories. Got too many names to remember. Okay, Cynthia, what are we going to do this week on the show?
First, I want to let everybody know the phone number because some people, have questions for us and they don't know the number. So it is 1-800-222-5222 if you have questions for us.
You know, we got a board that's filling up fast. Let's take a call. Let's talk to Trisha from Georgia. Trish from Georgia. Do you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
I have a story to tell.
Go for it.
Okay, so my children, I had been harassed by Child Protective Services since, I say, around March of this year. They were sending the police to my house. The police were saying that they got reports that I were not at my home with my children. I mean, they were waking me up out of my sleep. Every time they came, I was here, with my children. So back in April 29th, I was arrested for allegedly hitting my child after I called the police after my mom abducted my child. So a report was made to Child Protective Services the same day. I was released the next day, and they sent the deputies to my house. I took a Facebook picture. I took a picture and put it on Facebook, like of the deputies talking to my daughter, who they claim I hit. Well, they claim that I balled up my fist and punched her in the mouth. And so when I got out of jail, I asked my daughter and my mother why they said, why did it say in the report that I, balled up my fist and punched her in the mouth? And so they said, well, we didn't tell the police that. And so the police questioned my best friend who was there, myself, and also the chiropractor, because we was at a chiropractor office from a hit and run. Now, they omitted the chiropractor from the police report and my best friend as well. So Child Protective Services got the report, and they sent the police to my house the next day. They questioned my daughter. She told them, no, she did not hit me in my mouth. They questioned her about a lot of stuff, and they told me to keep doing a good job, and they left my house. This was May 2nd. So come July 9th, I receive a summons to come to court. Now, July 4th, 5 days before I received the summons, I received 2 text messages from my twins' father. They just turned 2. And he said, I'm sick of you and these child abandonment warrants, and get ready for your appearance date. So 5 days later, July 9th, there was a summons filed in the, Fayette County Court. And it said that I was arrested for cruelty to children. But then it says the next day that the police came out and there were no concerning bruises or marks. And then it said that they received another report, and so that's why they were bringing me to court. So
Hold on a second. Trish, who was bringing you to court? CPS or the father?
Yes, Child Protective Services. They issued a summons for me to go to court.
Well, at this point, do you still have your children?
No.
Had they taken them away before?
No. Well, I've had a CPS case before, but this is my first CPS case in Fayette County.
Okay, but what I'm trying to understand is, when you go to court that day, are your children in your custody or not?
Yes, they were in my custody. We appeared by Zoom.
Okay. So tell me what
Yes.
happened. What happened at the court hearing?
So, at the court hearing, they went through the names, what's your name, and everything. And, my children were standing behind me. And the judge, he let defects speak, and they were saying all of these allegations of abuse, me smoking marijuana in front of my children, me feeding my child bread and water. And I'm like, where are these allegations coming from? So I showed them my kids on the, on the screen, and I said, my children are fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so the judge asked me, will I let CPS come to my home? And I said, no. For what? I said, and I told him that CPS had been harassing me and, that they had been sending the police to my house for no reason, saying that I wasn't at the house because the sheriff was actually telling me that they were receiving calls from Child Protective Services. So I told him, no, there's no need for Child Protective Services to come to my house. I showed him the picture, the video. My children are fine. So after that, he was like, well, I'm concerned about the abuse. I'm bringing the children into custody. So I'm like, what? Like, these are just allegations.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran. That was my first instinct, like to run, because I know how corrupt the system is. So
okay, wait a minute. So the judge said he's coming to get the kids or sending CPS to get the kids, and you took off?
He said, I'm bringing the kids into custody. And I said, well, where are my children going? Mm-hmm. And he said, that's none of your concern, and I'm bringing them into custody, and hung up the Zoom meeting.
Okay, stop for a second, because we're heading to our first commercial break. Do you have your children now?
No.
Okay, so they finally found you and took the kids away from you.
Yes, they took the kids, and so basically I had an attorney
mm-hmm.
at first, and she did not represent me at all. Like, she was just letting them, when I say the guardian ad litem was calling me all types of names, like saying that I sound like Trump. They were, the caseworker was calling me bipolar, like all of this stuff. This was, after they took my kids, and we finally had the hearing the next week.
Well, hold on, Trish. Have you had a hearing to try to get your children back?
Yes, we actually had court on this last Thursday, and my new attorney presented all of the evidence. She presented the text messages. She presented everything. Even my twins' father said that defects had reached out to him in March and asked, if we take your children, will you be able to take them into your custody? And he said yes. And he said this under oath on the Zoom meeting on Thursday. So they've been conspiring against me since March.
Okay, but you don't have your children right now, correct?
I do not have them. And we proved all of this. I haven't seen my children in 2 months now. I have 5. My oldest is 12. My twins are the youngest, and they just turned 2 August the 14th.
Okay, Trish, so let me do this, because we're going to be moving into a commercial break. I'm going to give you a telephone number. I want you to call it tomorrow and make an appointment to speak to me. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's 888-888-6582, because we're going to 888-888-6582. Hey, Trish, I want to thank you for calling in. Keep listening and call us in a few weeks and update our audience as to what's going on. But I would like you to call me tomorrow. We can talk more in depth on your case. Thank you. This is the